So this most recent pullback was a great opportunity to, like you're saying, Mitch, to take some time and do some because there's so many companies right now that have you know that are that have a target. So many SPACs that have a target, and we had this big huge turn down, and so it really gave an opportunity to recalibrate the portfolio if you needed to do that, and look into and get into some really great SPACs at near NAV or NAV. So what an opportunity, it was where, it shook out many, maybe newer investors or some that are just trading SPACs, which it always does. So that's just the name of the game. But yeah, man. So a couple of my more recent videos, I've covered. I know you probably want to talk about CCIV. Everyone kind of. It was funny to see the reaction of CCIV. How all of the SPAC investors who, I don't want to put everyone in the same same circle, but everyone all of a sudden became a fundamental investor, right? Like just snap of a finger off of a evaluation of Lucid, which was obviously higher. So I pretty much I stayed in stealth mode about CCIV through why I let a lot of the other Twitter personalities and YouTubers were cranking videos out left and right. I just kind of stayed stealth and was just watching and doing research and kind of selling and making some money on the way up. And then I was after it crashed back down, I jumped back in. So I'm back in the CCIV. I loaded up and very bullish about the future. I don't know how people can't be bullish about something with the technology. Now, of course, this company has to prove a lot, right? I'm not going to say that they're the second coming of Tesla, but now if some of the things that they have cooking pan out. We obviously know they got a manufacturing plant, and they've recently had the go ahead for the expansion of their manufacturing facility. So just that right there, they're light years ahead of a lot of the other EV manufacturers that are SPACing. Anyway, and then just yesterday they put out a video of the CEO going on a test drive, and he said it was the first time they've ever test drove the vehicles that without the camo paint job or whatever. So, an actual near ready production vehicle on the road yesterday, or I'm sure it was probably a week ago or so, but the video dropped yesterday. So, did you get a chance to see that, Mitch? That video?
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been reading all about CCIV. One thing that has really surprised me is that, people get so it's almost like a cult-like following into certain one of these SPACs. And when they get that cult-like following, I mean, they just don't look back. And if you say anything negative, oh, you get ripped. If you say anything positive, they're just like, yeah.
All right, yeah, and it's a line in the sand. It's either CCIV is going to be one of these, like Tesla early on, where it was either you hated it or you loved it.
Yup.
For sure.
Like they talked about it when Tesla was first. What did they say? This one's going to disrupt the technology, right? And so one thing I noticed is that at the end of the day, when you look at the vehicles side by side, they look very similar, very, very similar. And then if you look at the features and the speed, the power, they actually are kind of their best car is beating the Tesla. So, I mean,
right now, yeah, and with their motor is so small, but has 1,000 horsepower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, over 1,000 horsepower. I heard. So I mean,
how did they do that? So that's the things though that we need. This is where you're going to need, eventually they're going to have to do it anyway. They're going to have to get it in the hands of like car and driver and, these actual, ones that are probably in the pocket of the big automakers. But at the end of the day, they're still going to dive into a Lucid because they've done it to Tesla. You know what I mean? And so and then I love to see what car and driver or some of these other big platforms begin to say about a Lucid once they have them in their hands. So I think that'll be the real test. Well, that'll be the test for some people.
I got some questions on Lucid and what you think. So first things first is what do you think of that Arizona plant and their potential? They're saying they can make hundreds and thousands of vehicles in a couple years. Do you think that Arizona plant is really the main deal here?
Yeah, I mean, and then it's rumored that they potentially are going to have other plants open up in Saudi Arabia, or we go global. So no, I mean, for what they are set out to accomplish right now, with the numbers that they put out in their slide deck, and stuff, this plant is totally capable with the expansion. And I mean, because the proposed expansion is like 4 times as big as the current. And then in the current manufacturing facility, if the CEO was accurate, they could roll out 1 vehicle every 10 minutes, through the assembly line. So, and then with the expansion, yes. So I definitely think that it's what they have currently, there is sufficient for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, well, I'll wrap up with just including like how he said Lucid plans by 2030 that it plans to produce an upwards of 500,000 vehicles annually. So, hey, is the potential there? I mean, 500,000 vehicles, you could just add the revenue up and try to think about where it could be revenue wise and value wise.